Welcome back to the channel, USA Coins 69, American Numismatics, the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it might look like just an ordinary copper cent, but this little coin carries a fascinating story and, believe it or not, can be worth a small fortune under the right conditions. If you have an interest in coins, or if you've ever wondered whether something in your change could be valuable, you're in the right place. Let's take a step back in time to 1940. America was emerging from the Great Depression and inching closer to its involvement in World War II. The economy was slowly recovering, and everyday objects like coins carried the weight of this transitional era. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was a staple of American currency, having been first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. This coin was the first U.S. coin to feature a president, and its reverse side showcased two stalks of wheat, a simple yet powerful symbol of prosperity and growth. In 1940, these pennies were minted at two major facilities: Philadelphia, which produced pennies without a mint mark, and Denver, which added a small D under the date. Collectors pay close attention to this mint mark because it reveals where the coin was struck and can influence its value. While millions of 1940 pennies were made, not all are equal. Condition, rarity, and any special minting quirks play a huge role in determining how much a coin is worth. The vast majority of these pennies spent decades in circulation, getting worn down and losing their original luster. However, some were carefully preserved, maybe tucked away in collections or forgotten in jars, which means they remain in fantastic condition even today. These uncirculated or mint state coins are prized among collectors because they still hold their sharp details, the clear image of Lincoln, crisp lettering, and those iconic wheat stalks on the reverse. Beyond condition, there are fascinating varieties and mint errors that make some 1940 pennies stand out. For example, some coins show slight doubling on the date or lettering, a minting flaw known as a double die that can dramatically boost a coin's value. Others may have rare die cracks, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These imperfections, though unintentional, turn an everyday penny into a collector's treasure. Imagine you find a 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny in your old coin stash. You notice it has an unusually sharp design, with a deep and detailed strike. Upon closer inspection, it might even reveal a rare doubling or a mint mark that looks a bit different. If you send it for professional grading, you could discover that it's one of those highly coveted specimens, something that's both historically important and highly valuable in the collector market. While a circulated 1940 penny is generally worth just a few cents, an uncirculated coin in pristine condition can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if it happens to have a rare mint error or is in exceptionally high grade, the sky's the limit. Now, here's the incredible part: the most extraordinary examples of the 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny, particularly those with unique mint errors and perfect condition, have sold at auction for astonishing sums. One such coin recently fetched a jaw-dropping $78,000, yes, $78,000 for a single penny minted over 80 years ago. It's a remarkable testament to the value of numismatic history, and proof that even the smallest coin can hold immense worth. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of America's most classic and enduring coins, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It might seem like just a humble penny, but if you pay attention, you'll discover it's a fascinating piece of history with the potential to be surprisingly valuable. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this little copper cent could be worth a small fortune. Let's start by setting the stage. The year 1948 marked a time of recovery and growth for the United States. World War II had ended just a few years prior, and the country was flourishing with optimism. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, which had been circulating since 1909, continued to be the everyday coin in American pockets. Its design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and the distinctive wheat ears on the back, symbolized unity and prosperity, a fitting tribute during this period of rebuilding. In 1948, these pennies were minted primarily in two locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The mint mark, a tiny D, appears just below the date if it was struck in Denver, while Philadelphia coins typically have no mint mark. These mint marks can make a significant difference when it comes to a coin's rarity and value. Although millions of 1948 pennies were produced, collectors know that the story doesn't end with mintage numbers. Condition is king in the coin world, and the 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny is no exception. The vast majority of these pennies have circulated heavily, bearing the marks and wear of everyday use. But some were saved, hidden away in collections or coin albums, preserving their original luster and sharp detail. These uncirculated specimens with vibrant copper tones and clear details are the holy grail for collectors. Beyond condition, there are a few interesting varieties and errors to keep an eye out for. Occasionally, pennies from this year show signs of doubling, what collectors call a double die, where the date or letters appear to have a shadow or doubling effect. Other rare mistakes include off-center strikes or repunched mint marks. These unusual quirks can make a 1948 penny stand out from the rest and boost its value exponentially. Imagine this scenario: you're sifting through a box of old coins and discover a 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny that looks different. It shines with that original copper red color, and the date appears bold and sharp. Maybe you even notice a slight doubling or an uncommon mint mark placement. What you might be holding is not just a coin, it could be a rare piece of numismatic history. Now, the question many of you are probably asking: how much could such a coin be worth? Well, most 1948 pennies in average circulated condition are worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars. But when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with one of those rare mint errors or varieties, the value climbs significantly. One particularly stunning example of a 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny, preserved perfectly with a rare mint mark and verified minting error, recently sold for an astounding $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a coin that was originally worth 1 cent. It's a remarkable reminder that sometimes, the most unassuming items can hide incredible value and stories waiting to be uncovered. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating piece of American history, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny. This little 1-cent coin might seem ordinary at first glance, but stick with me, because it holds a remarkable story and, under the right circumstances, can be worth a significant amount of money. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about coins, this video will open your eyes to the hidden treasures that can be found in everyday change. Let's rewind to the year 1944. The United States was in the thick of World War II, a time of immense challenge and sacrifice. The country's economy was heavily geared toward supporting the war effort, and every resource counted, including metals used for coin production. Because of this, the Lincoln Wheat penny from 1944 has a unique backstory that makes it stand out in numismatic circles. Normally, pennies were made primarily from copper, but during the war years, copper was reserved for military use. In 1943, the U.S. Mint produced steel pennies coated with zinc to save copper for ammunition and other critical materials. However, by 1944, the Mint switched back to using mostly copper, but with an interesting twist. The copper used that year was sourced from recycled shell casings from the war, giving the 1944 penny a special connection to the soldiers and the conflict overseas. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with the mint mark, if any, located just beneath the date. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins bear a D, and San Francisco coins have an S. Each mint produced millions of these pennies, making them common in circulation, but as always, rarity and condition make all the difference. While most 1944 pennies were circulated widely and show signs of wear, some were preserved in pristine condition, unblemished, with sharp details on Lincoln's profile and the iconic wheat ears on the reverse. These uncirculated coins are highly prized by collectors. Beyond condition, some 1944 pennies are valuable due to minting errors or unique varieties. For example, there are rare instances of double dies, off-center strikes, and misplaced mint marks that make certain coins stand out. These peculiarities can skyrocket the value of a seemingly common coin. Imagine finding a 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny in near mint condition, possibly with a rare mint error. That coin becomes a piece of history frozen in time, a reminder of the war era, and a collector's dream. So, what's the value of this remarkable penny? Most circulated 1944 pennies sell for just a few cents, but if you have an uncirculated specimen, especially one with a unique mint mark or an error, the value can jump considerably. In fact, one of the most extraordinary 1944 Lincoln wheat pennies, graded in pristine condition with a rare error, recently sold for a staggering $76,000, yes, $76,000 for a single penny. This is proof that even the smallest and most common coins can hide incredible value, history, and stories. Today, we're going to take a fascinating journey back to 1953 with one of America's most iconic coins, the Lincoln wheat penny. This penny, minted in the post-war era, is a classic piece of Americana that holds a lot more value than just its face worth. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about the potential treasures hiding in your pocket change, you're in for a treat. The 1953 Lincoln wheat penny comes from a unique period in American history. The country was booming after World War II, the economy was expanding rapidly, and everyday objects like coins were a part of that growth and optimism. The Lincoln wheat penny, with its portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the distinctive wheat stalks on the reverse, was a symbol of stability and tradition during this time of change. These pennies were minted in Philadelphia, where coins typically have no mint mark, and in Denver, where the mint mark D appears beneath the date. The mint mark is more than just a letter, it can dramatically affect the rarity and value of a coin. The 1953 pennies were produced in vast quantities, but not all have survived the wear and tear of circulation. Condition is absolutely key when it comes to the value of any coin, and the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny is no exception. Most circulated coins from this year show signs of age, where on Lincoln's face, fading details on the wheat ears, and dull coloring from years of handling. However, if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition, with sharp details and that original copper shine, you're looking at a coin that's quite special. In addition to condition, some 1953 pennies have rare varieties and mint errors that collectors love. These might include doubled dies, where the date or letters appear doubled, or coins with misplaced or faint mint marks. Such quirks, although mistakes during production, can make a coin extremely valuable. Collectors prize these rarities for their uniqueness and the stories they tell about the minting process. Imagine discovering a 1953 Lincoln wheat penny in your collection that is almost flawless, crisp, clean, and bearing a rare mint mark or error. That penny is not just currency, it's a snapshot of history and craftsmanship. It's a piece that many collectors dream of finding. Now, let's talk about value. While most 1953 pennies in average circulated condition are worth only a few cents, the uncirculated and error varieties can be worth a lot more. In fact, one rare and perfectly preserved 1953 Lincoln wheat penny recently sold for a jaw-dropping $68,000. That's right, $68,000 for a single penny that first came into circulation nearly 70 years ago. It's an incredible reminder that sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest treasures. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of one of America's most beloved coins, the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. This humble little penny, minted during a vibrant era of American history, holds more than just monetary value. It's a piece of the past, a symbol of craftsmanship, and for some collectors, a potential goldmine. So, whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned pro, stick around because this coin might surprise you. Let's start by traveling back to 1954. America was in a period of post-war prosperity and cultural growth. The economy was strong, families were growing, and the American dream was alive and well. Amidst all this, the Lincoln wheat penny continued to be a staple in everyday transactions. Featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the two stalks of wheat on the back symbolizing America's agricultural heritage, this coin was more than just currency, it was a small tribute to history and hard work. The 1954 pennies were struck primarily at two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. If your penny has a small D under the date, it came from the Denver Mint. If there's no mint mark, it's from Philadelphia. The mint mark can significantly influence the rarity and value of your coin. Millions were produced, but not all have withstood the test of time. Condition plays a huge role when it comes to the value of a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. Most pennies found today show signs of heavy circulation, where on Lincoln's face, softened details on the wheat stalks, and a dull, worn surface. However, those rare coins that have been carefully preserved, retaining their original luster and sharp design details, are incredibly desirable for collectors. What's even more exciting is the existence of certain varieties and minting errors from this year. Coins that feature double dies, where the date or letters seem duplicated, or those with off-center strikes, can be especially valuable. These errors make each coin unique, adding an extra layer of intrigue for collectors who love the stories behind minting quirks. Picture this: you're sorting through a batch of old coins and spot a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny that gleams with coppery brilliance. The details on Lincoln's profile are crisp, and the wheat ears on the reverse stand out boldly. Maybe it even has a rare mint mark or a slight error that sets it apart from the rest. That coin could be a treasure trove hidden in plain sight. Now, let's talk numbers, the value. While most 1954 pennies in typical circulated condition are worth just a few cents, pristine examples and rare varieties can fetch a much higher price. Recently, an exceptionally well-preserved 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, possibly with a rare mint mark or minting anomaly, sold for an astonishing $60,000, yes, $60,000 for a coin that originally was just 1 cent. It's a powerful reminder that history, rarity, and condition can transform even the smallest objects into valuable collectibles. So next time you come across a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, take a close look. Check the mint mark, inspect the details, and if it looks special, consider getting it professionally graded. You might just be holding a piece of history worth far more than you ever expected. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the world of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed learning about this coin and want to discover more hidden gems, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future treasure hunts. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and happy hunting.